You suited up. Snow suit up. Flight suit up. Penguin suited up. Suit up. You suited up. Birthday suited up. Slut up. Suit up. Suit up. Suited up. Suit up. Suit up. Space suit up. Suit up. Suit up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to suit up.
Suit up.
One of these days, I'm gonna get you to see if you know where all those suit up comes from.
That would be fun, actually. We should throw that out. Tweet at LnR and let us know if you can identify
where those suit ups come from.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what it is, and that reminds me,
I think that should get them a freestyle from Rock.
Freestyle. I don't know about freestyle, but it can definitely get them something free for sure. I will put that out there. You can get a free inspiration.
All right.
If you tweet at LnR where our suit up comes from, the soundbite, the actual word suit up. And it's from one show, so I'm pretty sure it's a pretty popular show everyone knows. And we're going totally off track, but while we're on the same topic, next episode we got to get back to that what was our TV timeout on last episode that you said you knew all there. Yeah. All right, sorry for our new listeners or everybody for that matter. We're supposed to be suiting up, so let's suit up. This one is going to be kind of short, but hopefully sweet, because we went long on our What You Feeling section this time, but it's we're going to go practical today in terms of our resources, what we're going to share with you.
Yeah.
And this one that I want to share today is called Creative Live. This is a resource I want to share with everybody out there who may be looking for resources or an affordable way to get, I don't know, would you call it lessons or?
Yeah, to get training on digital media crafts like photography, graphic design, Photoshop.
Even blogging, I notice is on there.
Right.
Blogging, even crafts. There's some classes on crafts. So let me take a step back. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So like I said, the resource that we're sharing today is called Creative Live. So just like it sounds, the word creative and the word live as in CDH live put together, creativelive.com. And what this is a creative resource online, a website that is something similar to lynda.com, which we mentioned back in December.
Right.
And it's basically a membership site where you sign up for a membership. And when you go on there, you have all these video classes, video tutorial classes taught by people who are professionals and or experts in these different forms of art. Right now I'm looking on the main web page, on the home page, and some of the categories we have are photo and video. We have art and design. We have music and audio. Right. Speaking of music, which we've been heavy on this episode. Yeah. We have craft and maker. And that's for people who are into like actual handcrafted stuff.
Right.
So really you're getting a diverse, what's the word I'm looking for? Buffet, if you will, of different creative genres, creative mediums, creative outlets. And all these things are free access. So the way they differ from lynda.com is that this site you can sign up absolutely free. Mm-hmm. No cost to sign up whatsoever. In fact, I signed up in less than a minute when I went there. Okay. Yeah. The classes are all video. What comes with your free membership is you are able, for most of the classes, you're able to get at least the first class free. Mm-hmm. So let's say you're interested in photo and video. When you go into that category, when you look in there, there'll be a lot of different classes on different subjects, different programs, different hardware, software, etc., different techniques. You might click on one. And when you click on that one class, there's like, there might be about, let's say, 10 or 15 tutorials of different times and lengths. But the first one will usually be there for free, and it's usually about an hour or so as a preview that you can try it out. And then there's a cost for if you want to pay to see the rest of them. If you're like, this content suits my needs, this will really get me going. Boom, there you are. The production value is great. It's really high production value. Again, I don't know. I can't say more about it, but essentially it's like lynda.com, but it's like another version with, different alternatives. Because I understand Lynda is kind of different where you have to pay up front, right?
Well, you do have the option of paying just for one class with Linda as well.
Oh, okay.
But they have a membership model for ongoing access.
But you have to pay at least for one class. Like, you can't get none of the content free.
They do have little samples for free.
Okay. I'm not saying it because I'm trying to really like diss Linda. I'm just saying I'm just giving the options and
just a slightly different model.
Yeah. But another one last cool thing I want to say about Creative Live before we end the Suit Up section is the live aspect of it is actually a thing. Yeah. So in addition to your free, samples, episodes, classes, and being able to pay for, the in-depth classes, the live classes tend to be mostly all free. So they have scheduled live classes at different times of day, different times of the month. If you go into each category, the first thing you'll see is a list of when is the next live broadcast of a class.
Right.
And you can choose, to RSVP and book your slot in there. And usually, from what I've seen, all the live classes are free. So you do have that extra, layer
That's really cool.
of a model. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So creativelive.com.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. It's short and sweet, like I said.
Yeah. I like that. Creativelive.com. Make sure that you are sharp on your skills.
Yeah.
And that you have access to top professionals to help you just fine tune those little known details that make all the difference between professional versus hobbyist or
even if you're a hobbyist and you just want, like I said, you want to make your craft as great as it possibly could be. And that's what it is. Speaking of making your craft great, we need to get on to
we're on that road.
What's up with Live and Rock and what we're doing in our individual crafts to make it great.
And hopefully hit our goals in the next 6 months. So we'll see how much we can pack in.
All right. So without further ado, let's get into our feature conversation on episode 28 of Live and Rock.
Rockin' Live. Here we are. It is a warm summer evening. In the 6.
Yes.
Better known to the old school folks as the T-Dot.
The original heads. Yes.
And here we are. CDH Live and Shell Rock are about to take you on that
super inside look of the creative life with our individual creative lives.
That's it.
So let's start with how we always start. Anything to celebrate,
Yes,
since the last episode in terms of your production, your creative output is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, man. I've been learning a lot lately, but really what I want to celebrate is the fact that I'm getting so much more clear and able to understand what my own process is.
Okay.
For both writing and producing.
Okay.
Both for myself and for others. There's been so much fine tuning and refining of my process and my perspective on how I approach what I'm doing creatively from a business perspective and just from an artist perspective.
Right.
And I've been able to work with a couple of new artists lately.
Oh, word? Like in the last 2 weeks?
Yes.
Word? How come I don't know about this? In what capacity? What the heck?
New clients. One of the big focuses that I've had over the last 2 weeks is just really getting back into the consistency of producing content for other people, producing promotional content, branding content.
Like what have you worked on in the last 2 weeks?
So, in the most recent one that I actually feel really cool about is a choreographer that I met at a music festival. My wife was singing backup. Nicole, shout out Nicole. She was singing at CBC Music Festival.
Word.
I met the choreographer for that show.
Yeah.
And got into a conversation, found out that she's just starting to venture out on her own. So she's just now coming up with how she wants to brand herself and expose her individual services as a dancer and choreographer. Okay. So got to go in to do some test shooting on a rehearsal. Okay. And
video shooting or
video shoot. Okay. And put together a little test promotional piece.
Video, yeah.
And this is just a stepping stone to what we're going to be able to create down the road as we really establish her brand for a long-term effect.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was really cool because I haven't done a choreographer before. Okay. You know, I've shot dancers, but not a choreographer and not in establishing their branding.
Right.
So it was really a nice project to be on. And... or I should say to get started.
Yeah.
So it's inspired me to see what we will be able to build together.
Yeah.
I'm also working on a branding project for Stubbs. Okay. And we're taking it another level deeper to really connect with the type of clientele that he's been serving, which is, you know, really driven, passionate, inspiring, creative people. Yeah. People who are committed to their own gift.
Yeah, yeah.
And he really has a knack for attracting those kinds of people.
Yeah.
So we're digging into share that, and he's expanding and growing. Yeah. So that's a really fun project to be in as well.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, I'll digress for a moment.
All right.
To give you your space to say what's up with you. Celebration wise.
Well, my celebration is really simple. Like I haven't really been working with other people. Like my craft, as obviously you know, is really very solitaire. What's the word? Is that the word I'm looking for? Solitary. Thank you. You would think as a writer I would have the vocabulary.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you know, my focus has been on the blog, and in the last 2 weeks, my thing I'm celebrating, I'm happy about is that I've finally been able to get, you know, a solid amount of images done for my storytelling part of the blog. So like I said on the last episode, I'm starting to focus on the storytelling more moving forward. And in the time that I haven't been posting stuff in the last few weeks, I've been trying to stockpile and get the serialized versions of my 2 novels.
Okay, yeah.
So before I start posting again, I decided since I've already had the unexpected break, I'm just gonna go with it and just take this time to start, you know, stockpiling and get a good head start with a bunch of episodes of my 2 novels, Operation Dream Girl being one and Space Love Superheroes being the other. Okay. Operation Dream Girl is super easy because it's already segmented like that in the way the book was written to begin with, and it has its own kind of diary style art in the way that it was, you know, created. So it's super easy, and I have already have the first section of the book done, broken down into, you know, individual posts, right? A good 6 or 7 posts already. But Space Love Superheroes, which was the action adventure, the with all the, you know, like the iconic cartoon characters and video game characters and all that. Yeah, that one was more straight novel. Right. So there's no images and the chapters are a little bit way more dense and you know, it's really more dense work. So splitting it up into, you know, a blog, changing the medium now to a blog and introducing it in a serialized format, it's a little bit more tricky. It requires a little bit more effort in terms of editing and you know, breaking up the chapters, finding good points to where to stop and leave it, you know, leave you interested for the next post. But it's been going pretty smooth. That actually turned out to be a lot easier than the other part of it, which is getting images.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you about. What's this image thing that you're
So the image is the route that I'm going. Instead of, I cannot depend on illustrators. That's just a fact. It's been such a hard road dealing with illustrators. So the route I've gone is just using my own graphic design skills. And just taking stock images and images of, characters and what from online,
right,
and just creating my own, what's the word I'm looking for? Creating my own like images to reflect the story.
Right. So I'm going to pause just for a second to bring it back, because I realized we didn't give the context here for everyone listening. Part of what we've committed to is one major goal each.
Yes.
For the next 6 months to a year.
Yes.
So for me, I have one major goal of creating a marketable show.
Yes.
And for my production company, the major goal was to do a master marketing kit.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Those are the two. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what everything that I'm talking about is related to.
Yes.
And in your case, your focus was the blog, which the goal being...
The original goal was to have X amount of active subscribers,
right?
By 6 months from now, roughly October.
Right.
But I since amended it to be more content focused, which I should restate now. The goal now really is focused on having a certain amount of content done and established within 6 months from now.
Right.
I haven't got the actual number yet because I haven't broken it down.
Okay.
But really and truly, the goal is to establish myself with storytelling and fiction.
Right.
So the blog up until now, the first 3 months of the blog has been primarily commentary on nerd culture and movies and whatever. I'm still going to do that, but I'm flipping the dynamic.
Right.
So instead of having it heavy 90% on that and only maybe 10% in my stories, I've totally flipped it. When I relaunch again, it's going to be pretty much 80% my stories every week to post one episode of Operation Dream Girl and or one episode of Space Love Superheroes.
Yeah.
And everything else is bonus. Okay. Period.
Right.
So my celebration to pull it to an end for the last 2 weeks is that I got the images done for the first 3 posts of Space Love Superheroes, which is huge. Yeah.
So how much work are you putting into the images? Do you just find the images and that's the work of it? Or you're finding images and putting them together and creating your own?
I'm getting very creative with it. And that's actually another kind of off benefit of it. Doing it this way is that it's giving me a chance to tap into the part of my creative skills that I enjoy, which is graphic design, and the ability to take existing images and really play with them and chop them up and remix them and really just get hip hop with them when it comes down to it. And recreate my own, story using other people's images.
A funny thing is, I literally, just as you were speaking, remembered that you actually studied graphic design.
Yeah, I did.
Sometimes I poke fun at you for using PowerPoint to make your images. But part of why you're able to pull off such amazing graphics in PowerPoint is because you know what you're doing. You studied graphic design. Yeah. You're not just like winging it and...
No. Yeah. Like, I've been doing the graphic design thing since literally 18? 17? Yeah.
So it goes to show that, when you learn a skill, you learn it once and it's yours for life.
And
you can always find something to learn in every experience. Even if it's not the job you want to be doing. There's always a skill or a lesson that you can learn and have as a new asset for life. But so that's a good celebration.
Yeah, man. So as you bring up life as skill for life, I'm excited about that, but it's kind of ironic that I'm equally excited, slowly but surely getting equally excited about, the CDH life goal. The CDH life creative goal of you and your project, and just the fact that over the last, few weeks, month or so, slowly, we've been talking about the idea of me getting involved in that, And the beauty of, me changing my goal with my personal passion of the storytelling and the blog is that the purpose of me changing it is also to free up time, real life
Okay.
time, and
Okay.
being able to spend more time writing.
That's good.
Because I want to start writing the next thing in terms
Right.
of my next major fiction thing.
That's good.
And my next major fiction thing I want to have ready for next summer.
That's
Right? But
That's hot.
because I'm doing that, it also means I'll have more time to potentially work on other things like the CDH live show, and I'm getting excited about
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So speaking of that, my goal is to have a show ready by September. Was
Okay.
my original goal.
Yes.
And
so glad to
as
hear.
we are getting moving into July,
Yeah.
and looking at how much is still required to get that show ready, my vision is always very, very
It's
grand.
high. Yes.
So I'm realizing that, you know what, the full expression of that is not realistic for September.
Yes.
So I've been making progress, been getting, more clarity around the themes and everything like that.
Yes.
But I may have to come up with a more simple format to reach my goal of September.
Right.
I really don't know what that's going to turn into.
Okay.
But the reason I bring it up
Yes.
is because it's partly what got me more excited now about the direction of the production company.
Okay.
So I spent almost a month, 3 to 4 weeks, focusing on getting new content ready for the show.
Right.
Writing new songs,
Specifically
producing
songs.
new music.
Yeah, music.
Because that's
Right.
what it all starts with.
Yeah.
And I come to realize that, you know what, I just don't have the speed to just knock it out like that.
Right, yeah.
When it comes to writing songs.
Okay, yeah.
Especially for this show.
Yeah.
But I also came to realize that when I shifted my focus from that to producing video of other creators and meeting and consulting with creators on their brand strategy and their business goals,
Yeah.
I realized that not only am I a lot quicker and equipped to just like turn that around faster,
Yes.
but I find a similar amount of joy and passion doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm excited to be unveiling some new simplified strategies for artists coming in July.
Clients.
Yes. For
Okay.
clients. And with that being sort of the driving force for business revenue,
Yeah.
then I can have a little bit less pressure in the creative side of this
Right.
live show.
Right.
Now, that kind of leads me towards a thought that I didn't know if I'd say on the show, but I'm going to throw it out to you.
Okay.
You mentioned talking about a show, not a show, a fiction project for next year.
Yes.
And in the back of my head, I've just been thinking to myself, as I've learned to put my different skills and crafts together, I wonder what would happen if Shell Rock actually started infusing his experience and skill as an MC in his storytelling. Now, you have been doing it to a degree.
I was about to say.
I know you have been doing it to a degree.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about as a way to share your stories. So if you're starting a new project,
Yes.
whether it's the CDH live show or something else, but you start it thinking that the way this story is going to be told
Right.
is audio,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it could be just like you're doing the serialized
Right.
blog post, you
Yes.
could do serialized audio format.
Right.
And it could just be you reading it, or it
Right.
could be, like a table read kind of format,
Right,
depending
right.
how much dialogue there is.
Right.
Or you could be actually
Actually,
writing something.
writing something.
Sorry. My phone rang.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
yeah.
I forgot airplane mode today. But yeah, you could be actually writing a story in rap format, similar to a Hamilton style of storytelling.
Right.
And that's something I'm curious to know if you've considered or how open you are to that.
The answer to that question is yes, I have considered that. Many times that thought and that kind of idea has crossed my mind over the years.
Okay.
But in more recent history, I've already been thinking about the fact that I'm planning and hoping to take the first step by also doing an audio podcast of the serialized Operation Dream Girl and Space of Superheroes. So I will just be reading each episode when I post it. And then, right. But that's a super ridiculous, simple, basic form of that.
And that's sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. But that's the real reason why I'm like putting on my producer hat and branding for other creators. This is where I'm like,
I got you. Okay.
I'm like, knowing you, I'm like, this is what you should be doing.
Damn.
Not that anything is wrong with blogging. But for who you are, you should be delivering something in an audio format. Especially because there are so many people who would connect to your stories that just don't read very often, or don't read blogs, right? People love blogs. I know there's a huge market for people who read blogs, but there's a whole different set of people who don't read blogs that would appreciate and connect with the stories you're telling. And so how do you
get the story out? Trust me, you're speaking right to you're speaking right to a lot of things that I've been thinking about and right to my heart of what I've been experiencing in the last few weeks,
and because it comes so naturally to you.
It
doesn't take a lot of effort, so to speak.
It all comes down to the balance of real life though, and your expectations. And sometimes we have to go through things to get go through some little difficult things to get ourselves to stop and find out where we're going wrong and make adjustments. And like I said, I talked about on the last episode how, me having the unexpected hiatus on the blog gave me a chance to realize that I was on the right path with the blog, but I was just on the wrong road. I mean, I was on the right road, but in the wrong lane. And I needed to slow down and do it my way for where I'm at. You know what I mean? And I also talked to you about another podcast that I was listening to the other day, how they were talking about, sometimes you got to do things super simple. Do what's natural to you. We get caught up with like, oh, well, if it's not something that I have to put a lot of effort in, if it's just what I'm doing, what comes natural, then it's not good enough. You got to work hard at it. And if it's not, but sometimes you got to lean to what's good, your strength. So in trying to do things that are hard, we end up doing mediocre work. With stuff that we're working hard at because it doesn't come natural, and our end results of stuff that's really mediocre, and really who says it has to be that way? Why can't you just do what you do natural and lean into it and just, put out your best work?
Here's a funny thing. Nicole and I started watching a documentary a couple nights ago, Janis Joplin. People may or may not know her music, but they know the name, Janis Joplin. And they had an excerpt from a letter she wrote when she was just still emerging, like she hadn't been signed by a major.
Before she was Janis Joplin.
But she was touring, singing with different bands and so on. And in the letter, she was, expressing her kind of despondency. She's just like, the summer was okay. I didn't really do much. I just, went to a few shows and I sang. And the tone of that sentence was like...
It was
it wasn't nothing.
Tone. It was
because she's like, singing and nothing.
Yeah.
It's just what I do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I didn't do anything special.
Yeah.
Not realizing what a gift it is. Right. Because not everybody can sing like you.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so that and, my own experience in the past little while with writing songs, I realized that while I'm not up there at the top songwriters in the world, there are people who can't write even what I could write.
Right.
And it helps me to appreciate where I am, but also it helps me to appreciate creators in every field.
Yes.
Knowing what a gift it is to be able to
create.
to move and to function in that lane. Like dancing, I'm nowhere close to being a dancer.
Yeah.
Right? Playing an instrument, I don't play instruments on stage. There's all these little things that people pick up and do so naturally.
Yeah.
And they take it for granted.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the reasons why we are delayed in really doing our best work.
Right, yeah. It reminds me of this podcast and my strengths and my natural things. It's like, audio podcasts in general is something that comes natural to me. And we were doing the video podcast or the video version of this, right? Together. And that's cool because I was doing it with you and I had you to lean on in terms of your expertise and your natural talents. But for myself, I was toying around with doing video versions of my content and the stuff I want to do. And I've done a few of it, but at the end of the day, the reality is me as a person, my talents and what I lean to is audio production and not just music. But I'm saying like this type of content, podcasts. I've done so many before me and you did this. And that's what comes natural to me. And I have a passion for it. And I love playing with the different things you can do audio wise in terms of storytelling and whatnot. So I'm like, why haven't I done that with my stories yet? That's the direction I should be going.
And therein is the beauty once you begin to discover that what you do naturally has an inherent value.
Yes.
Then you can, play to your strengths. And say, you know what, I want to do something over here, but let me find somebody who knows that's their strength.
Yes.
And then we can collaborate and create something amazing because each contributor knows what they're doing and they're passionate about it. And the combination is what do they say is the more than the sum of the parts.
Yeah. And that's okay. That's where I want us to pick up this conversation because that's what I'm excited about. So we've been talking a lot about the CDH live show and me coming on and helping you develop it from this very specific point is the storytelling. It's one aspect. And I'm super excited now. Like the more I've been watching all these other stage shows and forms of, I'm like, yo, I'm getting excited because I'm like, okay, now I can marry what my strengths are in terms of story. I have no desire to be on stage. But like you just said about collaborating, you have the passion. Not only do you have the passion, you have the talent. I know for 1,000% sure that you have the talent because I've seen it and I've commented to myself about it every time I've seen you perform over the last, 5, 7, 10 years. I'm like, this guy is gifted. I'm like, I was never even a fraction of how good you are on stage in terms of live performing. So I'm like, this is actually could be a great opportunity for me to really stretch my wings and really get out my pen and just go for it. Just do some real writing and do what I do best. Come up with some good storytelling lyrics, storytelling devices. Get creative in terms of how I can, help you develop and produce and come up with ideas of how we can put together a nice experience. Because I'm less interested in a concert. The concert doesn't really get me excited. It's just another concert.
Exactly.
It's music, right? Not to take anything away from that. We're musicians. We record. We know it has its value. But where we are in our creative journeys, I'm more excited about. I want to tell a story, and that's what you. See, a concert has
basically a limited life span.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas a story can literally last forever.
Yeah,
it can be retold again and again.
Yes,
right, with different interpretations.
Yes,
a concert is kind of the baseline,
right,
if you will.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that I might end up doing something, closer to just a performance for September of some kind.
Yes.
But the actual show, especially now that I know you're excited about getting involved, I'm looking forward to digging deep and making it the story that it is meant to be.
Yes, yeah. And I would say realistically, like that's like the long-term goal. Like 2017,
right,
would be the first version of that real vision.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've been seeing, I'm constantly looking and hearing about other artists' interviews and behind the scenes and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
And I mentioned to you before about how long Hamilton took, and I'm sure it took much longer than what I heard. But there was the comment that it was 7 years since he was.
Share that story for our listeners, just for our listeners, because it's good.
Yeah, so Hamilton.
As we're getting to the end of this episode, because we actually only have 5 minutes left.
So for those who haven't yet heard the details, Hamilton is right now the biggest ticket on Broadway.
Maybe Kinky Boots is a close second, but
there is no close second. It swept the Tony Awards.
Okay,
most awards for a play ever. I think it was 11 Tonys that it won.
Wow!
And to give you some context, Michael Jackson Thriller won 8 Grammys.
Wow!
So this musical is a big deal.
Okay, yeah.
So at the awards show, they had a little snippet performance, and there was an introduction by President Barack Obama.
Yeah,
and Obama says during the introduction that 7 years ago, this Lin-Manuel, who's the creator of Hamilton, was at the White House.
Okay,
for a performance. And Lin-Manuel got on the mic and said, "I'm going to share a song from something I'm working on." And the song that he shared was a song from Hamilton. And there was a 7-year gap between when Hamilton opened on Broadway and when he said, "Here's a song from something I'm working on."
To see a seed grow into an oak tree. That's the vision I get. Wow.
So I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I want to give this life everything that it deserves.
Yeah.
And not cut it short or clip its wings in any way.
Yeah.
I will focus on the production company. I will perform and do concerts.
Yes. Yeah.
But I feel like this show deserves something a bit deeper. Yeah. And that's what I'm looking forward to collaborate on.
Wicked. I think, unfortunately, we're running out of time, so we're going to have to, end on that really nice note right there. But because this is the Live and Rock show and it is about our journey, that's the focus of it. Yeah. Guess what, folks? You get to tune in on the next episode to see where we're at on this journey. What's going on with the CDH Live show and, my blog and whatnot, and even more intriguing, my involvement, the second great big collaboration between Live and Rock that's potentially going to happen.
And also find out about the new process to get yourself out there in a quick and effective way to build that awareness about who you are as a creator and what you do and how.
So the next episode, you're going to share a little bit of that with us.
I'm going to share exactly what the simplified model is through all of these years of consulting and being an artist myself. Okay. I'm going to share the simple solution to get yourself out to a paying. Being a paid artist.
All right, wicked. And I look forward to, hopefully by that time, me and you would have had our first first initial meeting of
indeed.
Of two creative brothers on this new venture.
Yeah.
So maybe we might, knock on wood, have a little bit to maybe even just an update of what we came out of that meeting with our listeners. And of course, you'll get the update on me on my fictional superhero romantic adventures.
Yes.
And other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed being in the episode.
It's been good.
Yeah.
We haven't had a guest for a while. Tweet at Live and Rock with your suggestions if you want to be a guest or you know someone who would be a perfect guest. We're looking forward to have another visit in the Live and Rock studio.
And actually shout out to Milo Flex because it hasn't been that long. Actually, we had Milo a couple episodes back, so we shouldn't say that. But
Milo Flex absolutely is always welcome. He's the
designated reoccurring special guest.
There you go.
He's like the cousin of the family.
But definitely tweet at Live and Rock with your suggestions or if you'd like to be a guest.
And don't forget, if you know those where our suit up intro music, our what's the word I'm looking for? Quote comes from. Tweet that, and you can get a free inspiration. And another last thing I want to say: even if you guys don't want to tweet us, but if you want the simplest way you can support us, other than listening, is just tell a friend. If you know anybody that remotely possibly gets some enjoyment out of what we do here, whether they're creative or not, just tell them you're listening to this show.
You're hanging with Live and Rock.
We don't even have to know about it. Just tell a friend. That's all we need. And we'll be happy. Other than that,
in the meantime and in between time, what we always like to say,
if you are going to live, whether you're a creative or not,
if you're going to live, you might as well rock.
Artists cannot be comfortable stuck in one box. That's right. And that's what this podcast is about. It's not just filmmaking, but creative pursuits in general, the creative life.